Do 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 do. Yo, rascal. Hello. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Let me do a little poppy outy. Pop out the chat. Let me move this over so I can cook it up a little bit. Yo, Mobby. Hey, what's up, guys? Yo, 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 yo. Hello. Howdy doody dandy, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Is food included? Hello, hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? You guys hot off the press from that 2.0 patch? What'd you guys think? What'd you guys think of this stream?
Up already? Are you trying to give a grandma like me a run for her money?
Why'd I take so long? Actually, I got gonna make an alien joke, but sorry, I was outside. I was actually outside of the cinema that they were talking about, and I was the one screaming chicken jockey. What can you do? Sometimes someone's got to do it. ZZZ devs are the best devs. It's really hard to argue against that. Dude, honestly, that live stream had so much in it. I don't even know what to say, honestly. I'm kind of cooked. Okay, that said, I did want to talk about the 2.0 patch. Honestly, there is so much that they announced. Truth be told, I thought they were just going to show off. Hold on, this game is too damn loud. Truthfully, I thought that they were just going to show off, like, maybe, I don't know, something like maybe a. So, shoot, why is it doing this? I thought at most what they would have is like a like some free rewards or something is kind of what I thought they would stick on. I think it is absolutely like shocking that they actually announced that they're gonna put like Ellen's kit into the game. I don't even have words for that, truth be told. Like, I cannot even fathom like where that came from, or like how that was like even on their like radar. I'm not complaining, but like, wow. Also, yes, like having energy in the farming stages, like disturbing. Great work. Hearing Sakaka reminds me of the other changes, and then I remember Kaleda. Kaleda's does kind of throw me off too. Honestly, low-key, I kind of can't remember some of the older ones. They're doing what with Ellen? They're buffing her. And they're not doing it like kind of halfsy, like halfsy turvsy. They're raw buffing that character. They're also buffing technically all the old, or a lot of the old characters too, because they're changing how they synergize. Like, did you guys see that? They're like changing it so that everyone's like additional abilities line up well with each other. out of Denny's. Damn. So Kaku ready. And, where do you think she'll sit as a DPS with the buffs? That's like, I know the number one thing people are going to ask is like, how good is she? How good is she? I don't blame you, of course. Like, that's a very valid question. I will say though, speaking candidly, because they're changing, I don't know if you guys heard. So to recap, I mean, I'm gonna be like uploading a live stream video or like a recap of the live stream thing at some point, probably in a little bit, like a little while. I'm just waiting on my editor. Like a couple things to note from what they mentioned. Attack agents are being buffed technically. I don't know if you guys saw that, but when you use your ultimate as an attack agent, currently you don't really get anything, you just do more damage. However, if you ultimate with a, if I'm not mistaken, a defensive or a support character, you get back like either an assist if you're a defense character or energy if you are a support. I don't remember exactly what it is with stunners. Let me see if I can find it. I don't think they get anything either. It could just be the whatever. In any case, attack agents gaining back some decibel so that they can continue like DPSing is actually a lot bigger than I think people are taking away from the description. What's up, Deli? Zenless is doing what Star Rail and Genshin would take months or a year before they would implement. Ellen can finally use Ellen, Lighter, and Astra. Yeah, this changes like everything. Like, I know this is gonna sound like a bit like I'm sure you guys were like, oh well, like you know, well, not you guys specifically, but I know there's people that are, they're gonna say like, oh, this changes everything, a good one, idiot. No, but like actually with how much that they're changing up everything, it is kind of like a this changes everything type of situation. Yeah, I have, Rev Danny. They are absolutely fucking freaky, bro. I was actually gonna spend some of today trying to figure out how to cook it up perfectly. Like, I saw some of the runs. It's tough, man. I'm just fucking bad at it. I have M1 Ellen. I'm happy. Hey man, I'm happy for you. Wanted to ask you about the selector. I definitely want to choose Kaleda, but I'm stuck between Brimstone or Kaleda's W engine. Do you, Rascal, do you have Lycone already? If you do, and you ever plan on running like that Kaleda, sorry, not Kaleda, that Lycone, excuse me, Lycone so Kaku team, Kaleda's W engine is actually pretty good for that specifically. Can't wait for Ellen to get buffed. I love her so much, and I would never betray her for Miyabi or Hugo. Hey, listen, I don't think you betray a character just because you play another. It's not that deep. Don't you worry. I have Lycone and M2 of his engine. The thing is, his engine, maybe at M2 it's a little different, but like, if I'm not mistaken, you do actually want like some of the energy regen from his W engine. Now, of course, it depends like on the fight and like how much you actually need and like how well you're even playing out the rotation. But if you are someone that is trying to spam like either the EXs for like the buffs, or if you're trying to spam it for like applying anomaly and like the dazes, it is something where I do feel like you probably get good value, in fact, I should say, from the energy regen on Kaleda's W engine. It's good for Miyabi Lycone comp, but Brimstone will help my GUN. For what it's worth, excuse me, by the way, for drinking into the mic. I apologize for that. For what it's worth, you could argue that you could use Steam Oven on Lycone which is also fine. Brimstone is like a pretty significant upgrade, and it is pretty generally usable as well. Do you think Lighter will use the new stun set? The new stun set said specifically, let me read what it said. I have the doc up. What it reads is, okay, it says that when the equipper is a stun character using EX, the crit damage of all allies. I mean, that's gotta be best in slot for like most, if not all, characters. I can't imagine. Someone sent me a file on how to use that team. It's a Google Doc, and it's called A Comically Long Guide to Mono Ice. Oh my God, wait, vibes? Vibes. What's up, Gib? A buffed Ellen, I'm happy about that statement alone. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm also really happy for that. I'm surprised. Okay, I shouldn't say I'm like so surprised, like I can't believe they would do that, because for what it's worth, they did say that they were going to like consider buffing the new characters, or sorry, buffing old characters. What I did not expect, and again, I think is so game changing, changing the old agents like additional abilities is not a like small like unnoticeable change. That is a pretty significant goddamn change. Like you will feel the effects of that like pretty significantly, you know, like in terms of like viability of characters. I don't know if there's almost ever been a game that I've seen that has done something like so retroactively impacting. Sorry, that's not even like a real goddamn sentence, but do you guys know what I mean? Like imagine if you were just like playing Genshin and they were like, actually Hu Tao to like make her work with Bloom is just this other element.
Kana's pretty cool, you should check her out.
Huh?
Ghost12850 is now following.
Ghost, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I mean, they did mention that the buffs weren't just going to be value buffs. Okay, though I understand that, you cannot seriously tell me that you expected what they were going to do to be like, yeah, actually we're going to change all, like most of the support's additional abilities. That is crazy. Also, guys, if you haven't also collected it right now, make sure to collect your polychromes. Sheesh. I just wish they revealed my Angels of Delulu. Are you talking about like the idols or something? I mean, honestly, it would be nice to see more of those characters, but we honestly got a lot of new characters too. We got, I think they said it's going to be a bunch of like Obol Squad characters. Trigger showed up. I don't know what her name is. There's like one pigtail character.
You want to test my hammer?
Wait, guys, this gives does this give EXP?
Hey, don't look down on me. You want to test my hammer?
Wait. Electric.
Hey, don't look down on me.
Let me finish my cup of hot water.
Fire.
Good day, Proxy.
What'd you think about the 3D model of Orphe? Three of who and what's he?
Don't look down on me.
I shall follow your orders.
Alice, Yuzuha, and Orpheus. Did they officially announce those characters? I feel like I've not heard them talk about any of those characters. I've been a little bit out of the loop though, so I apologize. It could be that I'm just cooked.
You want to test my hammer?
What is this? This is an ice.
Ready for combat.
A mission?
Wait, can you just do all of them all at once?
Don't just think about it. Do it.
Anomaly.
Down on me.
Want a glass of nitro fuel?
In my opinion, the idols feel like they'll be added in a filler version since I can't see them having anything to do with the 2.x main story content. I disagree, actually. After that live stream, man, I just my hands are in the air. They really surprised me in a way that I just did not expect them to.
Waking up at 8.
Like just being super serious. Like there's no, you know, there's no harm in being wrong or like right, okay? But like, did anyone actually seriously like no bullshit? Like, did anyone actually expect like what they showcased? Am I like fucking crazy?
Awaiting further instructions.
I feel like that would like like
Ready and waiting.
high key. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm like crazy.
Cool, you should check her out.
Candilk is now following.
The anticipation of
Candy, thank you for the follow.
I would never turn down more.
Like I don't know. I think
You want to test my
I might have in the past wanted to make a guess at some point about like what they would do for 2.0. I thought maybe we would see a little bit more about like maybe they might like return back to like some of the Caledon characters, or maybe they would have like tied it. But then like I don't know, they're doing something with Obal Squad, but then like I guess like Ambi's story's not done. What's up, Potato? This doesn't give EXP. It's just 3 hours of us doing this, huh? The map change was godly. I do also like the map change as well. I'm also a pretty big fan of that too.
all evil.
I'm genuinely surprised though when they said that they were gonna try and make it like open worldy or like more, you know, like integrated. I did not think they were going with that. Because at least from what I saw, it does feel like the game is like impressively like open worldy exploratively. Does that make sense? Like I'll say it, man. That's a little crazy. Like it really looks like you're like legit playing a Genshin type game, you know? After watching the trailer, I wish I could erase my memory about Genshin. It looks like Liu 2.0 for me. Wait, it's Leeway, right? Sorry, I don't even remember exactly what it's called. I mean, okay, not that I think the area looks bad. Please, if you could take anything away from what I said. Oh, also in regards to the Orpheus, I guess that character, she looked fine. I think how we'll be introduced to her for me is always what's more important. Like, to be honest, I thought Trigger was kind of cool, but I thought Trigger was way cooler after we saw her animations. And like, if you guys remember her character PV, do you guys remember what Trigger's character PV was? That was crazy. Hold on, where is it? Trigger character PV. Dude, you guys remember this?
Trigger, come in. This is Soldier 11. Within 200 meters of your position, there's a confirmed victim from the kidnapping case. Please locate her ASAP. Trigger, report your status.
Copy. The victim has been located.
Evac route is in place. I'm on remote support.
Where are you taking me?
Like, if you...
I'm the reinforcement sent by your teddy bear Odie. He's busy driving now.
Like, if you just see the character for the first time, yeah, she's a little interesting looking. But then when you actually watch this PV, you're like, wow.
I'll handle all the baddies. Odie, drive.
Roger.
Whoa!
The small fries at the back are all yours.
Roger, Commander Odie.
Hurry up! Don't let them get away!
Hold tight. Commander Odie and I will take care of the baddies.
Like what? like realistically, okay, we don't need to see further. If you didn't see it, this is like easily one of like the best character PVs that Trigger that I think Zenless has ever released. If they introduce Orpheus and any of these characters like that, they've got my money. They got my money. What's up, Saul? They could have whatever the hell they want, man. I just think it really matters. Like, I think their entrance, how they're going to like fit the character in the story, I think those are like really, really important things. But I mean, like, again, I don't think any character looks necessarily bad. However, I would like to say that it feels, at least to me,
Kana's pretty cool. You should
Oh.
check her out.
Flying
Now
Ligma.
following.
Thanks for the follow. Personally, I'm not a huge fan, or I shouldn't say a huge fan of, but like if you take a look at the cast of Zenless, now of course I didn't expect, you know, like every character to be of the same theme. Not saying that they are, but like, to be honest, I like low-key thought that they were gonna continue with like the street theme. Like I thought it was gonna be like a Jet Set Radio-esque, you know, kind of game. You know, like what's Ambi got going on? Like what? I mean, you know, without the skin, like what's Nicole got going on? You know what I mean? And like the same thing for like a lot of the characters, like Billy. Billy is like, Billy could very well be like you know, a Jet Set Radio character. And you know, for some of the other characters, I could like maybe see it, or it was like maybe made like a little bit more sense. Like maybe Ellen was a bit different, but like then I don't know, I got a little confused. Not confused, but I like lost. I was like a little what's the word? I wasn't like disappointed, but I was more curious how they were going to make like the street core aesthetic kind of work. And like, I mean, honestly, like the construction worker vibe was crazy that they did, you know, with like Kaleda and, you know, Grace and stuff and all like the feet stuff that they had going on. But my initial concerns were around when they introduced Haramasa, because to be honest, Haramasa, like, and a lot of what is it, Section 6, they look very, very, like, obviously they're a bit more kitted out for like this new futuristic style, but like I kind of wanted to see where they were going to go if they like could only leave it in like the world of like cyberpunk or something, or like in the world of like Jet Set Radio in terms of like the street core. But then like when they gave me like, when they gave us like, you know, Miyabi was like in here from like day one, but like when I saw Miyabi, Haramasa, like when I saw, you know, I guess like even Yanagi, I kind of like thought to myself like, oh, are we just going back to like, you know, we're going back to like the East, and it's just gonna be like, oh, now every character is like a, you know, I use the power of like the cherry blossom, you know what I mean? And I didn't really necessarily want that. Because I do think like some of the coolest characters in the game, like seriously, are like the street based characters. Like I think Billy, you know, for what it's worth, I know he's like a fan favorite, but like if Billy had you know, acquaintances and other characters like this, I think that would be so, you know what I mean? Like look at how different this guy looks. Like you could play like probably 10 to 15 gachas in like the modern market prior to NTE and Ananta, and a lot of the characters would look like, you know, like replicas or like, you know, copies basically of like some Genshin type character. Like how many characters can pull a sword out of their chest type beat, you know? Do you guys think Vivian is a good teammate for Yizhuan? I don't know. It kind of feels like Yizhuan is probably gonna, it sounds like she's gonna just want either like a stunner or like a double support team. Dude, that's what I'm like, listen, Saul, I'll be like, when you see like the live stream video that I post later, I'm literally gonna call it, like, maybe, like, I might even just fucking title it like literally the best gacha, like ZenlessZoneZero just released like the best gacha patch of all time. Okay, like I was seriously considering titling at that, because it was an absolutely like fantastic, like jaw-dropping patch. However, like seriously, you know, and this is not necessarily a fault of 2.0 like today, but maybe more so like just what I've noticed like since they first announced where 2.0 was happening. Like I kind of wanted to see more, like what if we went to like a New York-y type area, like a city, like real like urban, you know, noir kind of location. Sorry, version. Well, I mean, I guess patch, but it's not like version 2.0's fault, because like again, they already predetermined that it was going to be in like this location. I mean, I do think, don't get me wrong, Sep, like there certainly can be locations that feel that way, and I mean they have shown a few locations that do, like it's like the mining location, and like maybe you get like the whole, like again, like that 80s kind of like K-Town kind of vibe. But like it's just, for me, I wanted to see like Billy 2, you know what I mean? And like what we got was like Po from Kung Fu Panda, which is not like a bad character, like really, it's not, that's not a problem. But like, can we be for real for a moment? Like Ben, right, is like, he looks like a gangster, he's like a mobster boss, you know what I mean? If you had Poe, like we're going back to like, you know, we're going back to like going back to the east, you know? They can buff old characters. Do you think they'll consider buffing standard characters? I think that would be really unusual from them. Like I'll be the first to say it. The fact that they're even willing to touch Kaleda of all characters, I think is like I put my hands up for a moment. Like someone got real mad. Like someone must have gotten real goddamn pissed about how bad their Kaleda team was doing for them to buff her. Because I mean, like, dude,
Look down on me.
consider the following about Kaleda, okay? Not only is Kaleda's kit admittedly kind of mid, they have lighter, they have a free stunner in the form of, again, like Ambi. They are listening to what we're saying, and they obviously know that like stun is kind of phasing out a little bit more. Like people like taking like the Nicole Astras, like they like taking like sometimes double supports, or like they like taking an anomaly team. Like they specific, like in the dev notes, they are quoted as saying that they are aware of the fact that like most players literally only play characters with the purpose of main fielding 1 DPS, and then they don't even want to play any other character. So for me, I think it's baffling, like absolutely baffling, that they even touched Kaleda. But to tie this all back up, like I think if they were going to buff a character, not only do I think they shouldn't touch standards, because it feels like, I don't know if they'd be like taking away from, you know, like their time that they'd otherwise use on other characters, but also it's just like, even if you buff, you know, like, you know, even if you buff, I don't know, Soldier 11, right? Like, are, you know, for us, like how many people are like, Kumbaya, yes, Soldier 11 buff, as opposed to like, dude, oh my God, did you just make, you know what I mean? Like, did you just make, I can't even think. I don't think there's enough characters out for me to say it. But like, let's say like Bernice was bad. It's like, oh my God, did you just buff Bernice? So now she's like even better than Vivian? That's crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, there's no shock. There's no like wow factor to it for me. Like if they do buff some of the standard characters, Grace technically has already been buffed because of like Vivian's inclusion in the game. Rena is not bad. to be clear, so like she doesn't need it. And like Lycon's like one of the best characters for the mono ice team, and the mono ice team is one of the best DPS clearing teams in the game. So like all this to say, if they end up buffing standard characters, it would be unprecedented. I think it would be cool. Do I think it's necessary? And honestly, do I even think they should do it? I mean, like, okay, don't quote me out of context. It's not that I think they shouldn't buff standard characters or that I would hate them if they do it. But if they like lose any pacing on like better changes or like better resources or like better storytelling or better anything, just because we instead dedicated someone to try and buff Rina's kit, I'm good. You know, I'm okay. Neko needs a buff. Neko does need a buff. Neko, if I listen, and like, let's keep it a buck, by the way. I don't know if you guys like saw how they described Yishuen's kit. Yishuen's kit is like not even human, dude. There are so many like conditions on resource, on condition, on resource, on condition, on resource, that like I kind of just gave up at some point, like trying to describe what she did in my like recap video. But if that's any indicator for like what the character is going to do in the future, like Nekomata needs to either do like 10 billion quintillion bajillion damage, because she's like one of the only characters that has to do like directionals in the game.
Void 420 is now following.
Void, thank you for the follow. Either they have to make Nekomata do like 8,000 billion% damage for hitting someone in the back, or they need to just like make her so easy that like she could perform at an average level with like someone that's playing with their feet. Like, it just make it make sense, you know? Like if I gotta play Haramasa and I get like some top tier score, all right, I get it. Why am I playing Nekomata but like getting Billy scores? You know, like what exactly, what possessed us to make this character do that? I don't know. Mentioning Ben, kind of excited if they release an animal theme part of City, like Zootopia maybe. I do think it would be cool to see more of like the is it called Therans? Therans, I think, are just like the animal-based characters in the game, right? Or are Therans like a specific animal type? Or they're not like a species, are they? Is it like Theran is like a hybrid or something? I don't know what it is, but whatever the case, I do also hope that we see more characters like that. Because again, I think having more interesting characters is always a good thing. I literally think there's no downside to it whatsoever. If they gotta make it booba, they gotta make it booba though. Hey, and you know what? I'm here for it, okay? I'm here for it. I'll be the brave one to say it. Okay, what if I do mono ice? The panda looks way more fun than Ben. No offense, Ben mains. Okay, I mean, like, well, one character's kit was made in 1.0 when, like, you know, you might have played more of the TV than you'd ever play ZenlessZoneZero. So, dude, you know what's crazy, Hades? Worst in world E7 balance patch, literally best of all time ZenlessZoneZero patch, like literally ever. Like I encourage someone to like tell me like what like a single downside of Zenless is, aside from the fact that it feels like we're just like not really playing Zenless anymore. Like low-key, it feels like we could be shifting towards like Honkai. I want Bang Boost to only require one character perfection instead of two. I just want every Bang Boo to have some passive effect that you don't have to like horse shit around. TV died. Yeah, listen, I don't know. Like, I get it. I get it. Like, no one liked the TVs, but truth be told, well, actually, you know what? I don't think I actually really care that much anymore, because they are introducing like a new sort of what is it? Like a new medium to tell and express story. So I actually don't care. I was originally going to say, like, you know, I was a little concerned with how they would take story and stuff, but I think they've got it. I think they've got it under control, honestly.
Found your weakness.
The final act begins.
People complaining that TVs are gone. Yeah, like, listen, again, I understand where they're coming from too. Like, I think if you guys, I don't know if any of you guys have ever played E7, but E7 also had this like quote unquote predicament like a long time ago, where they were like planning on including like this update called like the Awakening update. And everyone was like, wow, your first idea and your first go of this is like fucking terrible. Please don't do this. But we didn't want them to like shoot the idea in the head. Like, we didn't want to put it behind the barn, you know, like behind the barn. Like, the idea of upgrading or like awakening a character for a new effect sounded cool, but then they just like shot it dead, you know, before like and like, again, I'm not saying that, like, you know, I don't see that people are like, you know, okay even if like TVs aren't here, but it is like, you know, consider like the story or like, you know, the what is it, like, you know, if you like consider just like what like the most common things in like ZenlessZoneZero are, or like what people play the game for, it is like the mini games and stuff, right? Like, there are like a load of people that literally just play the game because they're like, you know what, like, I don't really want to, like, you know, I can do my like you know, I can do my dailies and stuff like really quick, but what I want to do is I want to go on a date with my character, or like, you know what I mean, or like I want to live a little, you know. And like, part of living a little is playing with like those random mini games and shit, and like they just kind of removed one, you know. People are way more married to the idea of the TV mode than the actual gameplay of yeah, I think that's also fair too. I don't think, like, listen, I'm more than happy to admit that even if I consider the TV idea to be pretty cool, that shit could probably come in, I would probably be upset by it. Like, I'd probably not actually want it. But I just think that, like, I don't know, I hate closing off doors, you know, like or shutting out like opportunities. Like, what if it really is like, what if they just come up with like the perfect idea for like for the TVs again? And okay, I know this gets brought up in response to what I'm about to say, but once upon a time, you know, like, I don't know if you guys were people that played it, but like, if you were like an early like ZenlessZoneZero frog, like in the first like kind of week, like you didn't quit like when the game was like all TVville, one of like the first like real enjoyable pieces of content that I did was literally like the Prophecy, that side quest. And I encourage, if you haven't played it, I encourage you seriously to try that game mode out. But it is just actually a shame that, like, you know, after everyone like raved about it, everyone's like, dude, this game mode was sick. They maybe introduced the worst version of the Prophecy that I have ever seen in my entire life. What was it called? Do you guys remember what it was? It's like that arpeggio. Wait, I don't. Like, it was the one where you had to, like, okay, I shouldn't call it like the worst, but like the way that they framed it, it was like, you know, when you did the old school JRPG, like it warned you, it's like, hey, you just need time. Ladlin, thank you for the follow. But it was like, hey, listen, this is gonna take a while, but like, you're gonna enjoy this. Sit down, fucking play the thing, and you'll like it. And then I don't know, maybe, you know, I'm more than happy to admit that some people may enjoy arpeggio or whatever the game mode is that I'm thinking of. But But like the idea of gating things, I think in whatever the inspired old prophecy or like, you know, the prophecy quest game mode was, whatever the restrictions that this other game mode had, I feel like it just felt a little unfortunate to me, because like I love the prophecy so much, and then they didn't execute quite as well as I think they could have or they should have, and that like took a damper for me. Because I think like if they knocked it out of the park with Arpeggio, I think people might have wanted TVs again. Like I think people might have wanted a little bit more of the TVs, but then like I think Arpeggio was a little long. I think like trying to figure out like the who'sy whatsy, like who should I take, like the illusion of choice, when in reality it's like you just use the same shit anyway. Like I think it would have been cooler, you know, if they had I think it would have been cooler if they had like fleshed it out a little bit more, like not fleshed it out as in make it longer, but if they had like thought out like what people really liked about the prophecy. Because like for me, I did my personal fondness for the prophecy was not the fact that I had to sit through like 3 hours of content. It was like the fact that like, hey, I could look super fucking sick right now, you know? Oh god, I'm doing a chain attack. They still would have hated it. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Even E7's Labyrinth is better than ZenlessZoneZero's TV. Okay, you are speaking bold claims right now, and even if you are right in some capacity, I want you to know that E7's Labyrinth was fucking dog shit, bro. That, oh my god, if you guys don't like, okay, if you're an experienced player and you do Labyrinth, okay, whatever, it's not that big a deal. If you're an early E7 frog and you had to dedicate some of your time towards building the like the Labyrinth, or like building a character to deal with Labyrinth, bro, like you got other things to worry about. Like the Labyrinth is just not worth it. It should not be on your list, like at all. And it gave you like very minimal rewards, like a couple Skystones, like maybe a few pulls. I don't know. At least with, again, like the rewards, technically speaking, I think when you did the TV rewards in Zenless, I think you did kind of get like decent rewards. Like I don't think it was like a waste of time, if that makes sense. Bro, story farming characters, clear lab. Like, yeah, maybe in the modern era after they had all the changes, bro, but like before Stene was like guaranteed to be free, like we had to use, dude, like when I first started playing E7, you know what my team was, man? Because like everyone's like, you should take Sigrid, bro. Some of the grass stages with Sigrid, no man. Like oh brother. If you're thinking Hell Raid, I mean, like, well, didn't you have to get to like, so like, wasn't there like that rush? Do you remember like everyone had that rush of wanting to try to get to Nixieed Sanctum 5 because they wanted like the Destro gear? When I was trying to farm out that stuff, I was not happy, man. I was not happy at all. I haven't done Arpeggio. It's long. I'd rather dump all the pulls in there than do it. Okay. All right. Hey, look. To each their own. To each their own. It's just, again, I think it's a shame because like I would love for anyone and everyone to give that sort of content a try, because it does kind of show you that like, hey, there is some like real soul in this game. Like it isn't just like a mindless like zombie game where like you just goon. Oh my god, like listen, I know that like Zenless is like a game that people like to say is like all goony and stuff, and I get it. And like we are definitely not beating the allegations too, especially with Vivian. But like I think it would be cool if people can appreciate like when the game kind of cooks. And like, again, I do think that they cooked. What made the property good was the story. Arpeggio was like an excavation of past events. That's true. That is true. It felt like unique, right? Wow, Razor is actually a joke against Jane. You cleared it with Nixieed? Or you cleared Nixieed with that same team? Dude, but SSB is unlimited. Like, and back then, dude, like you had to literally wait until next summer if you wanted to get SSB. and if Tama wasn't on banner, you also had to wait for Tama. Like, that's what I think. Like, my team, I think back then was legit like Angelica or like Montmorency, like one of those two. Adventurer Roz, Sigrid, and I think like, I don't even remember, like Terranor Guard. The Goon is nothing compared to the other games though. Hold on. Can we, like, I said what I said, okay? And I still think that like Zenless does deserve to be judged on its merits that aren't just necessarily the art, LMAO. But while I said that, we do have to talk about the elephant in the room, which is Ijuen's fucking her dump truck, bro. Did you guys see? Okay, not to be crude. I apologize. But did we all see what we all saw in that PV, man? Surely we saw what was cooking. That was diabolical, bro. That was actually diabolical. I don't even like, okay, because like in reality, you know, I didn't consider her skin like that revealing, but it was just because I didn't see it from behind, I guess. Like, I just didn't know. You want more side quests? I mean, part of the appeal for Zenless though is that like Zenless's story and content, like Zenless really is a game that you could finish playing in like 2 hours. Like everything. Like if you play Zenless like every day, like you would probably feel like you want more content, I feel like, out of Zenless than anything else. Am I crazy? One team has to be Hugo. We're gonna use Hugo for the first team.
Which alias should I use this time? This is the path I follow. Is it work time? Is food included? I wouldn't take a deep breath.
The spotlight.
I wish you a fabulous day. Please forgive me. Want to see what I'm at your disposal.
The anticipation off stage is the. Is it work time? Take a deep breath. The spotlight's about to shine.
Why can't I find Vivian? There she is.
I'm curious to see the.
What is this, John Terrius Jones? No, hell no, bro. Hell no, bro. I am not. That emote is crazy. Oh my god, dude. Ew. Oh my god, that is actually a crazy emote. Holy shit. Oh, okay, boys, I have the live stream video almost done. It's almost done. Void Hunter level dump trucks. Yeah, I mean, okay, E7 also is not beating the allegations, because if you guys saw, E7 also released like one of like the most degenerate characters I've ever seen. I got jump scared by Emil Aria's boobs the other day when I was covering it. Oh.
Let the party begin.
Dude, this character, dude, playing Hugo, not Hugo, sorry. Playing lighter and doing his basics sometimes is so ass. It's actually the worst. This boss is also just a piece of shit. Please, brother, please. I'm timing it right too. Like, what the fuck is this? Does E7 need to beat the allegations though? I mean, I think it would be nice if it did.
I shall balance the scales of the
Fenris, not Fenris. Fenny though. Fenny definitely killed E7's chances of beating the allegations. That's for damn sure. As we mentioned, how gacha games keep this light novel writing, despite the fact that games are no longer a sideshow with chibi gameplay. To be fair though, okay, I think like one of the issues with gacha games right now is that like they're kind of split in half, aren't they? Like who the gacha games are written for. Like low key, it feels like if you don't appeal to your widest audience, it's like what the fuck are you doing? But also like Reverse 1999 like obviously does not appeal to the same people that like enjoy ZenlessZoneZero or like that enjoy Nikkei. You know, which is actually kind of a concern, because if you balance around trying to like, you know, appeal to the largest audience, then like in a game like Reverse, which has like, again, amazing story, kind of strategic gameplay, and like, you know, well narrated and like well voiced characters, like you can't just have like a Nikkei character shake their ass in Reverse, you know. You think HP will go down next patch because the new miasma feature? Dude, that's the thing. That's what I thought was also so cool. Like they added a whole new feature into the game. Can you guys like see how cool that is? Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just gushing. Maybe I'm just fangirling because I'm just an idiot that loves ZenlessZoneZero. I'm more than willing to call myself that. I don't know what it is though. Like when I heard what they announced and what they added, I was like, wow, this fucking company is like doesn't need to do any of this bullshit, but they just keep cooking it up for some reason. Like that was my impression when I saw that, like when I saw all the updates and the changes that they're adding. Should we really compare a gacha monetization to a complete game? Grand Blue Fantasy Relink though is I don't know. I also covered Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I don't know even how I'd feel about that game, bro. That game made me kind of upset. I'm not gonna cap, boys. I covered that game. I loved that game, man. I was like a mega Lancelot main. And then they're just like, actually after Sandalphon, we're just not doing it no more. Like that's the last update. GG. Like, oh. Did Caesar say what the 2.0 reruns will be? I only skimmed it. Sure did. Also, I'll have a video for you in like very soon that talks about all the changes from Zenless 2.0. Sorry, I'm trying to kill this thing. The rerun banners are Caesar and Astra, which is like, wow, ridiculous. It's more that the bar is set so low that whatever Zenless puts in is going over that bar. Dude, that is a depressing reality, but you are just right, aren't you? Did Relink have a monetization system or was it just pay to play? Technically it had skins.
They really hate my mommy Yanagi, man. When TF is she rerunning?
Dude, Yanagi, man. Okay, if you think about it, they did have to release the supports because like I think with Ijuan, like Ijuan and like the panda, I don't know. Maybe they just really wanted everyone to have Caesar and Astra, but that is like the craziest banner ever. Like really, like this period of getting Caesar and Astra. Like normally I would agree that this is like a, hey, what the fuck is going on? But like honestly, guys, if you don't have like any of those characters, I'd actually highly recommend you pick up Astra or Caesar. No cap. no shame. Hey, listen, like legit no shame coming from me, but like if you want your life to be easier, you better pick up Caesar or Astra. I do think arguably with what we've seen thus far, I think they said that Panda is a healer while also buffing sheer damage, and Ijuan is sheer damage. And I think they also said that Jufufu buffs like crit damage as a whole. So like she's kind of good. But like, man, like even though you have those supportive cast members, man, if you miss Astra and Caesar, oh man. Oh man. If Obel Squad members Seed is a big ass robot with female voice, I'll be so disappointed. You didn't like Firefly? I kind of like Firefly. Kind of fucked with Firefly. Firefly made you quit? Wait, really? Wait, what about Firefly made you quit? If you don't mind me asking. Wasn't Firefly like one of like the most free-to-play friendly characters like of all time? Kana, my Firefly enjoyer. If you want, okay. Again, I only try to keep it a buck with you guys. I have an E6 R5 Firefly. Cause I don't know, man. When I was a kid, my dad and I, we bonded over. Oh, if you want me to show you, I can show you. Hold on one sec. Let me log on my phone. I did, as a kid, bond with my dad because he and his brother used to watch like the Gundam series. So like when I was like between the ages of I think like 2 and 6, that's like all I watched. But I don't remember anything about Gundams, but I just know that my dad really liked Gundams. And so like robots and stuff have always had like a soft spot for me. And that's why like I'm like a big fan of Evangelion, even though like, you know, obviously the story's like a little jank and whatnot. But I also like really liked Firefly. Mecha Break also looked fucking amazing. Wait, was it Mecha Break? I'm thinking of Mecha Break. I think it is. But like I played like Zone of the Enders as a kid. Custom Robo was like one of my favorite like what was it? GameCube and then like DS games. I have like a very soft spot for robots. Like I promise I'm not like a fake ass robot bitch, but some people are just disappointed with badass mechas having girls inside. Dude, one of my favorite animes of all time. You guys are gonna crucify me. I would die for Zero 2. I would dead ass. Okay, hold up. Let me show you guys. If you can tell, I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but that's unlocked. I think otherwise they'd be unlocked, right? You guys can see that shit? That's fully unlocked Firefly. This is why you need to add the... No, I'm not even like... I think Firefly is cute, don't get me wrong. Like, I think like... I've always been like a fan of like the yandere trope. Not that she is, but she's like more soon or whatever. Like... I kind of fuck with like with all of Firefly's story, and I do like her as a character. I'm not like a gooner for that character though. Bro said die for Zero 2. I would die for Zero 2. A real mecha fan wouldn't give a shit on who's inside as long as the pilot is a badass. Exactly. All right, guys. Truth be told, if you guys didn't know, I'm going to be releasing a video on Lycon, or sorry, Lycon, as you dude. By the way, this is like a really random thing. I get told every day that when I call Lycone, everyone's like, actually, it's Lycon. Can you please stop saying Lycon? It's not Lycone. It's Lycon. I did two full retakes of my video because both times I forgot that I started saying Lycon or Lycone instead of Lycon. Oh my god, it has been bothering me. But it took me like 2 hours to record his guide because I had to redo it like twice. Just ask devs. I thought that like when he said his name, it was Lycone. I don't know. I guess I'm just a fucking idiot though. All right. Okay. Are there any things that you guys are like really curious about for like the 2.0 live stream? I know I'm like, I'm doing some like just general Zenless stuff, but like I am very curious about the direction that they're going to take with like us as characters. Cause we're about, if at least to me, it feels like we're a hop, skip, and a jump before we get powers as Phaethon. You want to break it down? Thoughts on EOS playing a mech? So based. So incredibly based. All right. Also, okay, I don't know if this was like necessarily intentional or not. All these like random ads that we had for the Zenless live stream, they weren't bad, don't get me wrong. I think it was cute. I kind of like, at least for me, I don't know, maybe I'm like in the minority. Did they say why they just like got rid of like the subtitles? Like it's fine, I turned them on for myself, but like normally they have them already like baked in, like embedded or whatever, but like this time you had to open the shit up yourself, which again wouldn't be a problem on average. But the thing is that with the way that Zenless's current like their positioning was, and with the way that they normally talk about, or like the way that they position things, it's in a way so that the captions don't cover the text or anything on the bottom. But if you just have it, like, look, if you take a look at this, look at where like the sounds come from. You see how it's like literally straight on the bottom? There was like, I don't remember what it was. There was something that I was trying to read and it was just covered by like the subtitles, which kind of bugged me. Oh yeah, this. You guys see this? This kind of bothered me. Like I didn't see what was on the bottom. Not that there was anything important, but they specifically are showing like, this live stream POV kind of thing. Okay. You know what? Wait, that's a great question. That's a great question. What was your reaction when they announced the free S rank and W engine? Okay. If you are someone that exists and plays ZenlessZoneZero and you don't even like look at the other gacha titles in the space at all, that's okay. I don't blame you. Like, you're more than happy, or you're more than allowed to do that. I don't blame you whatsoever. However, I do personally believe you can drag the caption. This has to be a new change. This has to be a fucking new change. Nah, I swear on my life, I've tried doing this before. No, I swear on my life, on everything. I've tried doing this before and it's never worked before. No, I swear. No, I swear. This is new. No, I swear. No, I swear this is new. No. No, I know you can change the quality. No, I know about all this. Dude, no, what the fuck? Wait, I could. no. Okay, listen. Okay, like, okay, I will say, I was made aware that, like, did you guys also know? I don't know if you guys saw this. I don't think it's on this video right now because, like, whatever. They have like AI dubbing of like all the character voices, or like, sorry, AI dubbing of like whatever voice, but like in some generic like whatever AI narrative voice with like AI like tracking of what you're saying and translating. I don't know how reliable or how good or how bad that is, by the way. To be clear, I'm not trying to like advocate for that, but that is something that I have noticed, and I think I have it on my videos or something. Okay, truth be told though, like for a game like this, unless if it's like Y speaking English, which again, it's, you know, it's like English second language, that's fine. But like, unless if it's like Y doing that, most of the time the captions are like good enough, you know? They're like good enough. YouTube's kind of inconsistent with their updates, so it's a toss up on how quick you'll get a feature. Let's just say I didn't get this moving update until today, huh? How does that sound? Does that sound good? Does that sound good? I think that sounds fair. Anyone else think that sounds fair? Why didn't anyone tell me you could drag subtitles? Dude, hey, that's what I'm saying, okay? That's what I'm saying. Listen. It's a crime, okay? A crime. All right, okay. That said, what I do want to say in regards to this, like, if you're someone that's been watching or like observing the gacha sphere as of late, I think it's a little bit difficult not to like kind of compare anniversaries or like compare rewards that come out at the same time or patch notes to each other. Now, again, I'm not saying you have to be clued in or like, you know, like wired into like what Azure Lane versus Nikkei versus Counterside versus Infinity Nikki versus, you know, like, whatever Olympus Company or Reverse is doing, right? But I think it is fair to say that like people probably saw Zenless as like one of the last like companies to announce their 2.0, and there was a lot riding on this. Now, for me, the baseline I expected was, yeah, I probably expected some sort of standard selector. If that wasn't the case though, I wouldn't have like raised my pitchfork. I just kind of, at this point, I feel like my impression of Zenless is that they are playing a little bit of catch up. If I'm being truthful, like obviously Honkai Star Rail is like, you know, one of, if not like the biggest like gachas in the space at the moment. Again, that like kind of gets tied and goes up and down based on like when Love and Deep Space releases something crazy or when Monopoly Go like does some whatever. But I really did not expect the W engine selector. And the reason, like, to be clear as well, part of the reason why I didn't think that they were going to give us a W engine selector is because unlike other gacha titles, I do actually believe that, especially for the current roster of characters, the A-rank engines are not that bad in Zenless. Like, Fossilized Core is pretty fucking good if all you're trying to do is stun. And like for most people, your goal is to like, you know, just get whatever the reward is. And like Precious Fossilized Core, I think keeps its like max days value like super, like up until like literally when you would get like 3 stars or S rank like Shield defense. And then like, you know, you have like Weeping Gemini, which is like obviously good. And you can technically equip the engines of another class to like give you stat bonuses and stuff. And it does actually kind of work. Not that it's like amazing, but it does work. And because of that, I really, really did not expect the W engine thing. But like, you know, them giving out those two, honestly, by themselves already to me feels crazy. But what I genuinely, I don't know if I would call this an anniversary reward, but me personally, just because of how outrageous it is, I feel like it kind of goes along with it. I actually do think that where is it? I'll say it. Buffing Ellen is an anniversary reward. Like, listen, you guys can like argue with me on this. I think like this is a fucking gift, okay? Like I'm someone that I own an M2 Ellen, haven't activated her. What's up, Clutch? But the fact that they not only buffed the character, okay, mind you, they buffed the character, but also gave her like arguably one of the coolest like Lost Void kits in the game. That's a fucking anniversary reward. Like, truth be told, I get it. People say like, oh, it's just version 2.0. They didn't have to do that, man. They really didn't. You know, that's cool. That's cool, you know? And I get it, like my standards are set low. I understand. If you want me to just be like, yeah, well, actually they should have done it 8 months ago. Fine. Okay, you win. But like, again, I think like what a good fucking patch. Like, that's so cool. Also, I don't know exactly what they mean by this. I don't know if they exactly specified what they mean by like you can power up with the click of a button. What I want to say about this is that if they mean that with the click of a button you can either turn on or off her Lost Void kit, that is starting to trend in the direction of what I consider to be one of the gacha game's biggest criminal under implemented features, like features of all time, which is like, it's 2025. Why can I just not turn off my Mindscape or like my Constellation? Like, I get it. This is like really only something that like creators need to like give a shit about. But like, dude, sometimes I want to see how much damage I do at M2 or M6 compared to M0. Like, let me activate my Evelyn's like Mindscape card. Like, but also be able to test Evelyn at like M0 and M6. Like, is that too diabolical? And again, if they let you do that, like that specific, you know, like turning on and off, like, which again, I'm not saying they're necessarily suggesting that, but like this power her up with the click of a button. If this is a switch that you could turn on and off, oh, I pray to God they let you turn off constellations. What is this W engine selector thing? Hey man, for the anniversary, you're going to be able to choose either an you can choose any of the S rank standard characters and any of their W engines as well. The two are not tied to each other. They're completely separate to each other. If you want like, you know, Grace, but you want Kaleda's W engine, you could do that. You're getting both an S rank W engine and an S rank agent for your account. What is it like after you complete like some part of the story, something like that, but it's a free S rank W engine and a free S rank agent of your choice. Do you have to redeem the S rank selectors right away? Do they have an expiration date? That's a good question. I don't recall them specifically saying. I don't think it says here. It would be fucked up if it wasn't like for a while though. And honestly, truth be told, for an anniversary reward, like low key, like really low key, if you're not willing to like log in within like 6 months to like claim like a free S rank and a free S rank engine, you didn't deserve it. Like, I'll say it. You don't play the game for 6 months or something if they make it that, like, okay, don't make it so, like, obviously if they're being fucking unrealistic, like, you know, like you have to, that fucking black beacon bullshit, like you have to claim all your shit in like 2 days or something, and it has to be a code that you put in, like, okay, that's kind of fucked up. But like if it's like 6 months or like a year, like I think what Wuwa did or something for like some of their rewards, it's like 6 months to a year that you can take before you claim this. Hey, I'll put my hands in the air. Like, you forget it, bro, like that's your fucking incompetence, okay? Not the game's fault. Aren't you the guy who wanted M6? Not M6 Pulchra. I wanted M6 Grace. I will very likely be taking M6 or like taking Grace, by the way, for this. Also, guys, the live stream is done. The live stream video is done. I am applying my thumbnails. One moment. Welcome back, everyone. Yep, there we go. Okay, sorry, I fucking hate hearing myself. Sorry. I apologize, boys. I am posting right now. I'm pinging everyone. You like my voice? Dude, I fucking hate hearing my voice. I can't stand it, bro. Okay, boys, here's the live stream link. Oh, wait, sorry. Wait, can I pin it in here? Oh, I can. Wait, I'm gonna type it like this. You're. Okay. Thank you, sir. Remember, guys, this happens if a game doesn't perform like they wanted to. Sad but true. I do think that's like a pretty negative way of looking at it. Not that I think you're necessarily wrong. However, like, they kind of, I think every game kind of busts out like the we gotta perform button at some point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think, like, just kind of consider it from like a business POV. At one point, do companies not want to keep pushing and making money? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think any company like wakes up in the morning and then goes, actually, we want to just make less today. You know what I mean? What's up, Valen? Hello. That said, I do wish that it was 4 agents getting Lost Void gears instead of just 2. I do as well. They're getting supposedly they're changing some of their old cast members though, which is, to me, hey, that's good enough for me. Connor, despite what I said about getting Kaleda, M5 Grace does help me to get to the feet name card. Is Yishwen DPS? Sorry, come again, Valen. She's a DPS character. I don't think she's an anomaly though. I'm going for Rena and her W engine. I'm so close to M3. Hey, good luck, buddy. Good luck. They want to make money, but with Zenless, they have to actively do what people want to achieve that. In Star World, they can do whatever they want and still get rich. My take on that is that, like, there's this old saying that I think is very true. And if you've ever met someone like this, you know exactly what I mean. Rich people don't, like, it's gonna sound like so, like, what is it? It's gonna sound like so fucking egotistical and like kind of fucking, of course, obvious, but like there is some truth to it. Rich people get rich by thinking rich, or like by thinking in like a sort of like hustler type mentality. Like, rich people don't go, oh, I'm rich now and then I'm gonna just stop making money. Like, that's like never the mentality of any company that's trying to continue profits. Like, the reason why they're so profitable is because they continuously think like that. Like Genshin, I'm sure at some point, well, I mean, maybe Genshin's the exception, but most companies don't go like, oh, and now like we're done making profits, guys. Like we're good. Like that. Hey, ease off the brake. You know what I mean? Hoyo has enough money to support any game they want now. That's why they're making the Anna. Yeah, I mean, again, I can't speak to, like, you know, what they plan on doing with, you know, their IPs and stuff. I think, you know, the thing is that, like, that kind of gets me is that, like, there's always like someone that's better. There's always someone that does something better than you. Like, even for me, there's like always someone that makes like a better, like phrases something better than me, says something better than me, makes a better guide than me in some way. And it like, it infuriates me and it drives me and it motivates me. But at the same time, when you hit like a certain height, what the fuck are you like, what is even your ceiling? You know what I mean? Like, can we be like so real for a moment? Like how much do they need? Like, how much more can they make than, you know what I mean? Like, do we really need to make more than 100 mil? like what exactly is going, like, what's the ceiling? Do we need to hit 200? Because, like, okay, in my eyes, I feel like for Hoyoverse as a company, like, they're almost like a mainstay now on like fucking apps, and it's pretty fucking difficult to find someone that hasn't heard of the company Hoyoverse, has not seen a Genshin Impact character, or heard of the title Genshin Impact. So, like, I feel like the only audience that a lot of these companies are missing is, like, I don't know, like suburban, like middle-aged white families or something, or like middle-aged, like non-anime consuming families in like the middle of the suburbs that just like to, I don't know, ride bikes and stuff. But like, how do you even access that? You know what I mean? How do you even access that market? Because otherwise, like, dude, walk down the street and you say, hey, anyone here hear of Genshin Impact? Dude, like, everyone turns around. They know exactly what you're talking about. Genuinely, the thing that surprised me was I was sold on thought they were mid design. I mean, okay, I will say the one thing that has never failed me in terms of design for Zenless is that even if you think a character sucks balls, you don't want to pull for them or whatever, the characters, okay, outside of the Ambi clones, which again, presumably there's something that ties them all together, just saying, for those of you that are calling Yishwen like Ambi 3, Who knows? Who knows? Just saying. I think that all the characters look like very, very different from each other.
Really need to take this class.
And if they don't currently look different from each other, they sure will with the skin.
You have my complete support.
Like,
Only handle technical matters.
look at half of these characters. Like, what the fuck? Like, what am I even looking at with Nekomata, man? And then same thing, like,
Standing by.
Ambi looks so different than like all the other characters in this game. It is like crazy. Like Trigger looks nothing like Vivian, who looks nothing like Evelyn, who looks nothing like, okay, Evelyn and Jane do kind of look similar to each other in the sense that I see the bottom of their shoe. But anyways, like I think they have so much room and they've done such a good job that like even if my initial impression of a character is that I don't like them that much, something will be showcased where I like find myself so fascinated with them. And again, I know like if you guys like browsed like all the content surrounding Hugo, everyone, dude, I don't think I saw a single person that gave a fuck about Hugo. I ran a poll actually on the YouTube channel asking people like, hey, like, what do you think of Hugo? And like, did you skip him or whatever? On average, people will say that they skip like maybe 30, maybe even like 40%. Like at max will have said that they skipped the character that I'm polling. Hugo was at 60%. 60%, or at least at the time when I checked it, 60% of the player base of the people in my comment section said that they skipped Hugo. I get it, he is before 2.0, but someone has to be released before 2.0. Like let's just keep it a buck, right? However, I do think that like even with this character having like the worst performance I think of like any Hoyo character maybe like ever, maybe tied with like, I don't know, Boot Hill or Argenti or something. Despite all this, I really like Hugo's design. Like I don't know if you guys have even tried him in the story or whatever. His shit's kind of good. His shit's pretty good. I like it. I like his whole scythe like playstyle. I like the EX special, like the very straightforward, like easy playstyle. Like you just use your ultimate after they're stunned. Like I like his design. It just happened that 2.0 is around the corner, so have to skip. That's okay. I understand. Listen, I don't blame anyone. Like, dude, man, you guys should be doing what's best for your accounts, and that's totally fine. Also, side note, I'm gonna start doing this, and I hope you guys, hopefully this helps some of you guys.
Hana's pretty cool. You should check her out.
Maybe I really am night owl.
Maybe I really am a night owl. Thank you for the follow. I'm gonna start making like a deadly assault and a Shu defense infographic. I'm gonna start making that shit for you guys so that like if you guys are ever stuck, I've been like talking to like Lynn.
Cool. You should check
Have
her
you guys
out.
know Lynn? Ballinger? Thank you for the follow. I've been talking to Lynn and Yoji, some of the fucking Zenless goats, when it comes to don't ask me about Anton. When it comes to like clearing content and like some of the people that like optimizing and they play the game the most, I've been talking to them a little bit more, and hopefully I can cook up like an infographic or like a bit of like a team's guide, a suggestion. Actually, to this credit, like to this point as well, I've got an interesting question for you guys. If I asked you guys to try and beat Notorious Marionette with a purely free-to-play A-rank only team, who would you guys recommend? Nicole Ambi Corin. Nicole Sokaku Ambi. Sukaku, Nicole, Lucy. Would you believe me if I saw a video, like, I think it was, who was it? Was it Lynn? It was Lynn or Yoji. One of them linked me a video. There is a video of, who is this? Oh, wait, what's the first one? Oops, sorry. It's Billy, Pulchra, and Lucy clearing Marionette. Isn't that fucking crazy? Isn't that fucking crazy? Do you consider Haramasa as free to play since you got him for free? Yeah. That's fucking crazy. Billy, Pulchra, and Lucy.
Hana's pretty cool. You should check her out.
Medianx is now
Median, thank you for the follow. Billy is crazy. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like when I say like, oh man, you know, time to go to Deadly Assault, people are like, fuck, all right, everyone take out your Bernices, take out your Janes, take out your Miyabis and stuff. And then there's just like a fucking Billy from downtown, you know what I mean? I just think it's, no, the thing is like well, okay, I should say that most of the time when I watch like Lin and Yoji, when I see their runs, they aren't like crazy like build wise. They're like good and they do optimize the runs, don't get me wrong, but they don't have like, you know, they don't have like zero wasted substats. Dude, Median, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Am I excited for any new gachas coming out soon? Yeah, I mean, not to undersell how excited I am for 2.0 for Zenless, because I am super fucking excited for 2.0. I'm very excited for Neverness. I don't know if you guys saw the news for Neverness. Neverness apparently just got their license approved, or you know, it went through, they got it reviewed or something, and they can technically publish at any time now. Like they can just release their shit the second that they want. That one I'm really excited about. I'm like, I don't know when the fuck this game is gonna come out. Silver Palace, that game looks, well, okay, let me be clear. Silver Palace is not a game. Silver Palace is a fork bomb on your phone. So like you should not open it on your phone. That said, Silver Palace, if you have a PC, you should be interested in Silver Palace. Like, not sponsored, no, like whatever. It is like, I was sponsored by them, but like still, like even if I wasn't, that game looks fucking crazy. Additionally, in addition to that, whenever the fuck Arknight's Enfield gets announced, I think that game is gonna go fucking crazy. If I could, oh my god, I would probably spend like every like waking hour trying to optimize my base. Dude, I spent so much time building my base in the beta for Arknight's Enfield. I had like every single line, like every single farm like optimized. Like it was running so efficiently. I was like, oh god, I fucking loved it. NTE will make you delete Genshin. Okay, all right. Listen, if I'm keeping it a buck, the Genshin killer term is kind of goofy. I don't think it's nearly as like deep as it is. Like maybe back in the day when you were like a loyalist to one game, I could see that. But there has almost literally not been a single game that has been released in like the history of like modern era gaming that you can actually main without wanting to like really get upset at the developer. Like think of any single game that you think you could main, and I will list out a controversy or some like bad shit that's happened that would lead you to probably not leave it as your main. League of Legends, let's not even get into it. World of Warcraft, let's also not get into it. Path of Exile, GGG, let's talk. StarCraft, dead. Heroes of the Storm, dead. Well, dead. Overwatch, not it. Dota, not it. Like, don't even get me into like fighting games. Like, this is not it either. Valorant, Apex, all these games have like so many issues going on. Like, it's like we've almost hit that point, I think, in modern era gaming where you just can't main a game anymore. Like, you just gotta swap from like game to game, because like, you know, maybe back in the day, and like, you know, I think I was maybe part of that era of like gaming where I could just spend like 12 hours after coming back from like school. I studied for about like 5 minutes for my like spelling test, and then I just booted up like, I don't know, like Ratchet and Clank for like 20 hours straight. Like, I maybe grew up in that era, and I might have been able to do that back in the day. And like, I was like a serial like RuneScape 2 and like a like Maple Story, like a Maple Story fiend. But dude, nowadays, I mean, like, if I try to do what I did back in the day, I'd lose my goddamn mind. I'd lose my goddamn mind. Pokemon, I was okay, you guys are not gonna like me for Pokemon. I was like a Charizard and like beat everything in the game with just Charizard kind of guy. Remember when Tower Fantasy was meant to be a Genshin killer? Man, I'm so Tower Fantasy. You know what's so upsetting? Tower Fantasy was originally going to be the game that I first dropped, or I was trying to drop Epic 7 for, and then for whatever godforsaken reason, they said let me just gate the PvP and the story daily to certain hours, or to like limit the content that you could actually play in that. God, please help me, man. Oh my God. Maybe being younger made it easier to do that. I mean, there was also less responsibility, you know? Like, for as much as people hate to say it, like, you could definitely skimp by like not studying and just like gaming for an extra day or two. All right, okay, I don't want to get too far off the topic of Zenless and especially 2.0. Are there any questions that you guys have about 2.0? We can talk about it. We can break it down. Dude, Mr. Universe, man, oh my God. Like, I remember I spent like fucking like 200 hours doing Spiegelman's Carnival with my Dawn Warrior when like the Big Bang, like, or right pre-Big Bang, or like right as Big Bang came out, whatever. Anyways, you get the gist. You get the gist. You know how it is, bro. You know how it is. Do we watch the gameplay video from IGN for Silver Palace, or do you mean from what game? Have I broken down the Ellen buffs? I haven't. We could do that. We could do that. Okay. Actually, rather than break it down in the video, let's actually go into Lost Void for a second. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Again, while I wish it was something where we could just go, oh yeah, and like here's how we're gonna make it work. Admittedly, we are in a position where things are about to change pretty drastically for Zenless, for Zenless's endgame, for its content. I'm gonna have to make like a whole separate video on this, because it is just absolutely disturbing how many things are changing. I need you guys to understand. Okay, all right. Let's just break down the Lost Void kits real quick for Ellen, okay? First and foremost, this one, Blade of Frost, it reads that on the third hit of her basic, which she does a lot, her EX special, which is, her EX special, Sharknami, which is the second part, and her dodge counter, you trigger an additional icy blade, and it deals enemies in like a wide wave cone in the front. It reduces their defense, and if you trigger the additional icy blade, this like ability deals additional crit damage. Now, this is the one that I think most people really like, not only because it looks cool and feels cool, but also because obviously you're gaining crit damage and you're getting defense. This is pretty fucking significant. Now, it is worth mentioning that again, the ice damage is okay, like, because you know, nowadays we have characters like Astra that kind of devalue the damage percent a little bit. However, a character who has base defense reduction in their kit is pretty fucking unheard of. There are not that many characters in the game outside of like the rupture like category that we've been revealed to that by default themselves defense, like, you know, reduce the defense of enemies on the enemy team or on the enemy lineup. That's part of the reason why I think this feels pretty good. But also, if you're someone that's played Ellen, one of the things that feels really uncomfortable and kind of annoying about Ellen is that sometimes while you're in the middle of an animation, you want to like end or like continue the string by then performing like the basic and then like, you know, zipping into like the enemy. So like, for instance, sometimes you'll like be in the middle of like an attack, like you have this, right? And you want to like end here, just holding like that. If you don't have that wave there, right? Sometimes it does genuinely just feel bad when you're like in that weird awkward animation where you're like zipping through or you're like kind of in the enemy, like this. Like this, like where you're like where she's kicking her foot up. It does feel a little bit awkward sometimes, especially if there's multiple enemies while you're doing that, because it doesn't like perfectly transition into anything, right? Like there are other characters where like off of a B5 or a B4 like that, they will like and then immediately switch to you know, they'll switch to like another part of their ability, or they'll change something like crazier. Or like they'll unlock some like new ability crazier, right? Wait, did you say click on details? Wait, where do they show you it? They're crazy? Is it in here? Oh wait, where is it? Is there a detail button that I'm missing? Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay, yeah. There it is. Yeah. So like you guys are seeing this, right? This is a 30% defense shred alongside, again, a 25% crit damage bonus. You could say that the crit damage bonus isn't nearly as insane. However, keep in mind again that the 25% crit damage stacks up to 75. Again, notable, but like, you know, depending on who you're using, like, and if they go along with the change that they're making to Ellen, which is that she will be able to pair with any stun agent, this character is going to look fucking crazy. I think there's probably a good chance that Ellen players will end up using like attack percent, like double attack percent, or like triple attack percent or some shit, just because this is like 75% crit damage. And then if you use lighter, you've already got like a shit ton of like crit damage percent again, or a damage percent again. And if you use Blazing Laurel, that's even more. If you use Astra's, that's even more. You're probably going to be using like a triple attack or like a crit rate and double attack setup for Ellen. But this by itself is fucking fantastic. Like, this is a great addition to her. Now, again, I do want to state that while the writing on the wall right now says like, wow, Ellen can be paired with lighter, and look at this Lost Void kit, that looks amazing. There are a lot of characters who, if they have their requirements and their conditions lessened or weakened, they will just become a little bit more OP. Like, truth be told, there's probably a universe where like if you pair, I don't know, something like, if you can get like, for instance, like Miyabi, Lighter, and Astra to have like Lighter's core path or like additional ability active, that team probably fucking like that team That team's doing some shit, you know what I mean? But obviously, like the elephant in the room is that we don't exactly know what each of the changes are going to be to the additional ability, which is why my overall sentiment is that though this looks really good, the bar for characters might just be fucking put through the roof. Now, another really interesting thing to note, okay? When they mentioned the decibel thing in the live stream, if you guys didn't catch it, what they said specifically was that attack agents, was it attack only? I swear it was like attack and rupture agents. I might be mistaken. I believe it's attack and rupture agents had the, like, when they use their ultimates, they gain back decibels. Now, the thing is that if you recall, Miyabi is not an attack agent. So, again, I don't know if this applies to anomalies. I swear it didn't. But assuming, like, for the sake of this purpose, if we're assuming that Miyabi isn't actually able to make use of the additional decibel change, there is a universe where if you, like, don't just gain one of these Lost Void changes, but like all of these Lost Void, like Hollow Zero changes, there is a chance that like Ellen is fucking competitive to like the top tier DPS. But of course, again, like, I don't know how things are going to pan out, because again, for as easily as we could say like, oh, Ellen gets all these changes and now she's better, if Miyabi was able to use lighter like a human being, my hands are up. My hands are up. Won't lie, I can't get past the 53 rampant brute. Is that in the resetting or non-resetting battle tower? Now, okay, if we go through the next one, so like while you're holding like the dash, you gain 2 flash recharges and quick charge every 0.5 second. This is amazing, by the way. Amazing for the setup of like any fight. When Ellen hits an enemy with during the dash attack, she leaves icy mist on the ground, which deals ice damage over time. Wish it kind of said how much. And reduces their ice. Yeah, like, dude, are we like fucking looking at this? if these are both activatable together, are any of you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Oh, and Shiyu? Huh. Do you have a physical character like Piper? If those are active together, I mean, they didn't say one specific, right? Am I crazy? I swear it did not say one specific Hollow Zero or Hollow, like Lost Void passive, right? It didn't say just one. Didn't they say all of it? Joey, that's the thing. We need to see how Ellen's like Lost Void kit gets implemented just off of raw stat. And I don't know if they'll change this, but like, look at how much value like Ellen is getting from just her Lost Void kit. Now, again, if they don't do this, that's fine. But like, if you just imagine technically a world where the Lost Void Ellen gets implemented, if you get all 3 of this shit, is this not just like the freest stat character of all time? They showed what was changing. Wait, did they really? Apologies. Let's take a look. Let's take a look, actually. A timestamp for it? Ooh, wait. They did. Okay, so assuming they keep this, first and foremost, just off of this screenshot alone, right? She has access to Blade of Frost. Oh, sorry, whatever the hell this is. She has access to this if she has access to Blade of Frost, that automatically means that, again, she has the benefit of being one of the few characters in the game that can defense shred by themselves. Okay, pretty impactful. What was that? Wait, is that a new move? She doesn't do that. She doesn't do that normally, right? Okay, now again, I do think that for what it's worth, just this change, right, to now being a character. Oh, what the wait, what the fuck? Wait. Isn't her core passive change fucking crazy? Wait, that applies to all of her abilities. That's a lot of damage, man. For what it's worth too, like, also, again, one of the biggest issues with Lighter is that she, like, you know, Lighter wasn't really able to, like, you know, pair with Astra very well. Dude, if you could use Ellen, Astra, if you could use Astra and Lighter together, holy shit, the ice and fire units in this game are going to be so fucking OP. I mean, I don't know if do they reveal any more? Okay, again, okay. I will say, based on this, it does not say at any point that she shreds. I want to make it known that, again, 100% crit, like, you know, crit damage to a skill is really nice. I'm not trying to undersell it or anything. However, keep in mind that, again, for a lot of characters in Zenless, you are already starting with like 40 or like 60 damage percent randomly. Like Lighter and Astra, like that really is like a stupendous team. Like just the fact that you can now use Lighter and Astra together more reliably, that shit is crazy. She won't Death Shred, let's be honest. Even if you said that, they added a new ability that we have no idea the scaling's about. And also, did you really expect, like, you know, you're calling that outrageous, right? But are we really not calling the fact that they added the 100% crit damage to 5 additional abilities also kind of outrageous? It applies to dash attacks, ultimates, basic, icy blade, and basic attack, glacial blade wave. These are all pretty fucking crazy. even if she doesn't get the defense shred, 100% on each of these abilities is kind of crazy. What's the max crit damage in Zenless? It's I don't think there is one. Is there? What's the issue with the Lighter Astra now? Okay, here's the issue with Lighter Astra now. If you read, okay, so if you play Evelyn, there's no problem. There's no problem at all whatsoever with Lighter and Astra if you play Evelyn. However, if you take a look at the additional ability from Ellen, unfortunately, one of her like initial what is it? One of her like initial conditions to be played is that you either have to be using someone that's ice or you have to be pairing her with someone from her own faction. Issue though is that, like, again, you know, there's so few of those characters right now that it feels like it would be nice to get a dub somewhere, somehow, you know? Is Glacial Blade Wave the Predator? Wait, excuse me, sorry, I'm trying to understand. In any case, basically, if they run that gambit, I think that's absolutely fucking crazy. I mean, honestly, even if they give any of the others, they'll likely not do, I mean, they likely won't do Hunter's Finn, I don't think. I guess I don't want to comment too much about it. I can't tell what they will or won't do. The max crit damage you get from discs is 150 if every piece rolled 5 times on crit damage. That's not including the W engine and any core passives and stuff like that, though, right? Note the different wording, though. Glacial Blade versus Blade of Frost.
Kana's pretty cool. You should check her out.
Kit is now following.
Fuck it! Thank you for the follow. Boys, I would actually like to do you guys a favor. I apologize. I know I wish I could break down the live stream a little bit more, but I've literally been up since last night. I worked on an E7 Aria, or sorry, the balance patch video, and then it got like delayed a little bit, and then I went straight into ZenlessZoneZero patch 2.0. What are my thoughts on the new discs? Yishuen's obviously going to use her own, and I think for the others, I mean, like Jufufu and all the stunners are obviously going to use that, but anyways, in any case, guys, I'm gonna do like a very brief, very final, like rapid questions. Ask any questions. I don't want you guys to get hit by the ads, so I'm gonna close up shop before then. Is there any questions that you guys have about 2.0? Any questions, concerns, things that you're unsure about? Feel free to let me know. If I don't answer you now, I will look into it more. Astro Voice or new Jufufu discs for stunners? Jufufus for sure. Does that mean Shockstar is bad now? I mean, I don't think it means that you have to avoid it. I mean, you could, in theory, like maybe run double stun set.
Kana's pretty cool. You should check her out.
UK 010701 is now following.
Does that mean I don't know if that necessarily would mean that Shockstar is bad. Like, as again, if you have a good set, you should just use it. But like, I think you're gonna want to have to transition to this 30% crit damage. Caesar weapon for Seth. Yeah, you could do that. All right, in any case though, guys, thanks again for watching. I apologize for the short stream. Maybe I'll be back tomorrow, maybe I'll be back another day. I'll let you guys know and keep you guys posted. Lycone will be getting his guide out soon. I'm going through the list. We're gonna get to Anton and stuff soon, I promise. Okay, in any case, thanks again for watching, everyone. I'll see you guys all next time. Stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye, everyone. See you next time. Adios, adios, adios.